In the vast expanse of the universe, countless species had come together to form the Galactic Council. This grand assembly served as a platform for cooperation, diplomacy, and the sharing of knowledge among the stars. Each member species brought their unique abilities and perspectives to the table, creating a tapestry of diversity that spanned galaxies. Amidst this gathering of advanced civilizations, a new species emerged from the depths of space, seeking to join the ranks of the Council. They called themselves humans, hailing from a small, unremarkable planet named Earth. Compared to the other members of the Council, the humans were technologically inferior. Their space travel capabilities limited and their understanding of the cosmos still in its infancy. Despite their shortcomings, the humans were granted a place within the Council. The other species looked upon them with a mix of curiosity and skepticism, wondering what value these newcomers could possibly bring to their esteemed assembly. The humans, however, were eager to prove themselves, their spirits undaunted by the challenges that lay ahead. As the Council convened to discuss matters of galactic importance, a grave threat emerged from the shadows. A powerful alien empire, known as the Zorgans, had declared war on the Council, seeking to dominate and subjugate all who stood in their way. The Zorgans were a formidable foe, their technology advanced, and their armies vast. The Council, realizing the gravity of the situation, decided to fight back against the Zorgan menace. Each member species was called upon to contribute their strengths to the war effort. The mighty Valkorians, with their advanced weaponry and tactical prowess, took the lead in the military campaign. The wise Eldarians, renowned for their diplomatic skills, sought to forge alliances and gather intelligence. As for the humans, the Council saw little use for their primitive capabilities. They were assigned menial tasks such as supply chain management and basic maintenance duties. The other species looked upon them with pity, believing that the humans were out of their depth in this galactic conflict. But the humans, undeterred by the low expectations placed upon them, accepted their role without complaint. They understood that every contribution, no matter how small, was crucial to the success of the war effort. With determination and a tireless work ethic, they set about their assigned tasks, pouring their hearts into every endeavor. As the war raged on, the Council suffered heavy losses. The Zorgans proved to be a formidable enemy, their advanced technology and ruthless tactics overwhelming the Council's defenses. Planets fell and the death toll mounted, casting a pall over the once proud assembly. Amidst the chaos and despair, the humans began to shine. Their ingenuity and adaptability, honed through centuries of overcoming adversity on their own world, came to the fore. They looked upon the challenges before them with fresh eyes, unencumbered by the established norms and traditions of the other species. In the supply chain, the humans streamlined processes and implemented innovative solutions to ensure that vital resources reached the front lines. They worked tirelessly, often foregoing rest and comfort, to keep the war machine running smoothly. Their dedication and efficiency did not go unnoticed by the other species, who began to see the humans in a new light. On the maintenance front, the humans demonstrated their resourcefulness and problem-solving skills. They repaired damaged equipment with makeshift tools and salvaged parts, keeping the Council's ships and weapons operational in the face of constant wear and tear. Their tenacity and never-say-die attitude inspired those around them, fostering a sense of camaraderie and hope. As the war dragged on, the Council's losses mounted, and morale began to waver. The Zorgans seemed unstoppable, their advance relentless. But the humans refused to give up. They continued to pour their hearts into their work, driven by an unshakable belief in the cause they fought for. In the darkest hours of the conflict, when all seemed lost, the humans' efforts began to bear fruit. Their innovations and improvements to the supply chain ensured that the Council's forces were well equipped and provisioned, even in the face of dwindling resources. Their tireless maintenance work kept the ships and weapons functioning, allowing the Council to mount a stubborn defense against the Zorgan onslaught. Slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. The Council's forces, bolstered by the humans' contributions, started to push back against the Zorgans. Small victories turned into larger ones, and the once invincible enemy began to falter. The other species of the Council took notice of the humans' efforts. They marveled at their resilience and determination, their ability to find hope in the darkest of times. The humans, once dismissed as weak and inconsequential, were now seen as a vital part of the war effort. As the Council pressed their advantage, the humans continued to innovate and adapt. They developed new technologies and strategies, born from their unique perspective and experiences. These innovations proved crucial in turning the tide of the war, giving the Council the edge they needed to defeat the Zorgans. In the final battles, the humans fought alongside the other species, their bravery and tenacity shining through. They faced the enemy head-on, unwavering in their resolve to protect the galaxy from the Zorgan threat. Their sacrifices and heroism did not go unnoticed, and the Council began to see them in a new light. As the war drew to a close, the Council emerged victorious. The Zorgan Empire lay in ruins. The humans, once underestimated and overlooked, had played a crucial role in securing this victory. Their contributions, both on and off the battlefield, had proven invaluable. The Council, humbled by the humans' efforts, began to recognize their true potential. They saw in them a species of great courage, resourcefulness, and determination. The humans had earned their place among the stars, not through advanced technology or powerful armies, but through their indomitable spirit and unwavering commitment to the greater good. As the dust settled and the galaxy began to rebuild, the humans took their place as respected members of the Council. Their journey from underestimated underdogs to valued allies had been a long and arduous one, but they had proven their worth beyond measure. The Galactic Council, once a gathering of advanced species, had been forever changed by the humans' presence. They had brought with them a fresh perspective, a reminder that strength comes in many forms, and that even the most unassuming species can rise to greatness when called upon. As the Council looked to the future, they did so with a newfound appreciation for the humans and all they had to offer. The galaxy had been forever changed by their presence, and the Council knew that, together, they could face any challenge that lay ahead. And so, the humans took their place among the stars, ready to write the next chapter in their incredible journey. They had come from humble beginnings, but through their courage, determination, and unwavering spirit, they had proven themselves to be true heroes of the galaxy. The war between the Galactic Council and the Zorgan Empire raged on, a brutal conflict that spanned star systems and consumed countless lives. The Council, once confident in their ability to swiftly defeat the Zorgans, now found themselves on the defensive, losing ground with each passing day. The mighty Valkorians, their advanced weapons proving insufficient against the Zorgan onslaught, retreated to their fortified worlds, licking their wounds and regrouping for the next battle. The wise Eldarians, their diplomatic efforts failing to sway the Zorgans from their path of conquest, sought new allies and strategies to turn the tide. Amidst the chaos and despair, the humans toiled tirelessly in their assigned roles. They worked the supply lines, ensuring that vital resources reached the front lines, and maintained the Council's ships and equipment, keeping them operational in the face of constant wear and tear. But as the war dragged on and the losses mounted, the humans began to realize that their contributions, while important, were not enough. They saw the Council's strategies failing, their tactics proving ineffective against the relentless Zorgan advance. The humans, with their unique perspective and ingenuity, began to devise new ways to combat the enemy. They studied the Zorgans' technology and tactics, looking for weaknesses and opportunities to exploit. In the supply chain, the humans developed new methods of resource acquisition and distribution, streamlining the process and reducing waste. They forged new alliances with neutral species, securing vital materials and information that the Council had overlooked. On the maintenance front, the humans pushed the boundaries of what was possible. They developed innovative repair techniques, making the Council's ships and weapons more durable and efficient. They even began to experiment with new designs and technologies, hoping to give their side an edge in the conflict. The Council, preoccupied with the immediate concerns of the war, paid little attention to the humans' efforts. They remained dismissive of their contributions, seeing them as inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. But as time passed, the humans' innovations began to bear fruit. The supply lines ran smoother, delivering essential materials to the front lines with greater speed and efficiency. The Council's ships and weapons, repaired and upgraded by human ingenuity, performed better in battle, giving the Council a much-needed boost. The tide of the war started to shift, slowly at first, but then with increasing momentum. The Council's forces, bolstered by the humans' contributions, began to push back against the Zorgans. Small victories turned into larger ones, and the once unstoppable Zorgan advance began to falter. The humans, emboldened by their successes, continued to innovate and adapt. They developed new weapon systems designed to exploit the weaknesses they had discovered in Zorgan technology. They created new strategies and tactics, drawing upon their own history of warfare and adapting them to the galactic stage. The Council, finally taking notice of the humans' efforts, began to incorporate their innovations into the larger war effort. The Valkorians, impressed by the humans' new weapons designs, began to mass-produce them for their own forces. The Eldarians, recognizing the value of the humans' diplomatic efforts, worked alongside them to secure new alliances and gather crucial intelligence. As the war entered a critical phase, the humans' contributions proved to be the deciding factor. In a series of pivotal battles, the Council's forces, armed with human-designed weapons and employing human-devised tactics, dealt crushing blows to the Zorgan military. The Zorgans, once confident in their superiority, began to falter in the face of this new threat. They had underestimated the humans, dismissing them as a primitive and inconsequential species. Now, they paid the price for their arrogance. The Council, recognizing the importance of the humans' efforts, began to treat them with newfound respect. They included human representatives in their strategic meetings, seeking their input and expertise. The humans, once relegated to menial tasks, now sat at the table with the most powerful species in the galaxy. As the war reached its climax, the humans played a central role in the Council's ultimate victory. In a daring offensive, human-led forces struck at the heart of the Zorgan Empire, crippling their military and breaking their will to fight. The Zorgans, their forces in disarray and their leadership in shambles, sued for peace. The Council, triumphant and vindicated, accepted their surrender, bringing an end to the long and brutal conflict. In the aftermath of the war, the humans emerged as heroes, their contributions recognized and celebrated by the entire galaxy. The Council, once dismissive of their abilities, now hailed them as saviors, their ingenuity and determination having turned the tide of the war. The humans, for their part, remained humble in victory. They knew that their success was the result of hard work, collaboration, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. They had not sought glory or recognition, only the chance to prove their worth and make a difference in the galaxy. As the Council began the long process of rebuilding, the humans played a key role in shaping the future. Their innovations and ideas, born from their unique perspective and experiences, helped to guide the galaxy towards a new era of peace and prosperity. The other species, once skeptical of the humans' abilities, now looked to them for guidance and inspiration. The humans had proven that greatness could come from the most unexpected places, that even the most unassuming species could rise to the challenge when called upon. And so, the humans took their place as respected members of the galactic community. Their journey had been long and difficult, marked by sacrifice and hardship, but they had emerged stronger and more united than ever before. As the galaxy looked to the future, the humans stood ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They had proven themselves to be a force for good, a beacon of hope in a universe filled with darkness and uncertainty. The tide had turned, thanks to the efforts of the humans, and as they stood side by side with their allies in the council, they knew that together they could face any threat and overcome any obstacle. The humans had come from humble beginnings, but through their courage, determination, and unwavering spirit, they had changed the course of galactic history. They had shown that even the most unlikely heroes could rise to greatness, and that the future belonged to those who dared to dream big and fight for what they believed in. The war had reached a critical juncture. Despite the valiant efforts of the Galactic Council and the crucial contributions of the humans, the Zorgan Empire refused to yield. They had retreated to their heavily fortified homeworld, a bastion of military might and advanced technology. And from there, they continued to launch devastating attacks on Council-held systems. The Council, realizing that the war could not be won through conventional means, began to despair. They had thrown everything they had at the Zorgans, but it seemed that victory was slipping further and further away. In the midst of this crisis, the humans once again stepped forward. They had been studying the Zorgan defenses, analyzing their strengths and weaknesses, and they believed they had found a way to turn the tide of the war once and for all. The human plan was daring and unconventional, a testament to their ingenuity and boldness. They proposed a massive offensive, a direct assault on the Zorgan homeworld itself. It was a risky gambit, one that would require a significant sacrifice, but the humans believed it was the only way to end the war. The Council, desperate for a solution, reluctantly agreed to hear the humans out. They listened as the human leaders laid out their plan, detailing the resources and manpower that would be required. The plan called for a massive fleet, comprised of the best ships and warriors from across the Council. They would launch a coordinated attack on the Zorgan defenses, drawing their attention and resources away from the main target. Meanwhile, a small team of human volunteers would infiltrate the Zorgan homeworld, armed with a powerful new weapon developed by human scientists. This weapon, a fusion bomb of unimaginable destructive power, would be detonated at the heart of the Zorgan command center, crippling their military and breaking their will to fight. The Council, upon hearing the plan, was shocked by its audacity. They knew that the losses would be heavy, that many brave warriors would not return from this mission. They also knew that the humans, who had volunteered to carry out the most dangerous part of the plan, would be sacrificing themselves for the greater good of the galaxy. The debate raged within the Council, with some members arguing that the plan was too risky, that the cost in lives would be too high. Others, however, saw the wisdom in the humans' proposal, recognizing that it offered the best chance for victory. In the end, the Council voted to approve the plan, though not without reservations. They knew that they were asking the impossible of the humans, that they were sending them on a mission from which they might not return. The humans, for their part, accepted the challenge with grim determination. They knew the risks, knew the sacrifices that would be required, but they also knew that they could not stand idly by while the galaxy burned. And so, the preparations began. The Council marshaled its forces, gathering the ships and warriors that would be needed for the assault. The humans, meanwhile, made their own preparations, training and equipping themselves for the infiltration mission. As the day of the attack drew near, the tension within the Council reached a breaking point. Some members, haunted by the knowledge of what they had asked of the humans, began to question whether they had made the right decision. But the humans remained resolute. They knew that they were the only ones who could carry out this mission, that they were the only ones who could make the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good. On the eve of the attack, the human volunteers gathered together, sharing a final meal and reminiscing about their lives. They spoke of their hopes and dreams, of the futures they had once imagined for themselves. But they also spoke of their duty, of their responsibility to the galaxy and to all the lives that hung in the balance. They knew that their sacrifice, as painful as it might be, was a small price to pay for the chance to end the war and bring peace to the galaxy. As the Council fleet jumped into Zorgan space, the humans prepared for their own mission. They boarded their infiltration ships, armed with the fusion bomb, and a grim determination to see their task through to the end. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Council fleet, led by the mighty Valkorian warships, clashed with the Zorgan defenses in a titanic struggle for supremacy. The Eldarian diplomats, their skills honed through years of negotiation and manipulation, worked to sow chaos and confusion within the Zorgan ranks. Meanwhile, the human infiltration team made their way to the surface of the Zorgan homeworld, fighting their way through the heavily defended perimeter and into the heart of the enemy stronghold. The losses were heavy on both sides, with countless ships and warriors falling in the brutal battle. But the Council, bolstered by the humans' plan and the bravery of their own forces, slowly began to gain the upper hand. As the infiltration team reached their target, they knew that their time had come. They had fought hard to get this far, had lost many of their own along the way, but they knew that their sacrifice would not be in vain. With heavy hearts and a sense of grim purpose, the humans detonated the fusion bomb, unleashing a blast of unimaginable power that consumed the Zorgan command center and shattered their defenses. The shock wave from the blast rippled out across the planet, leveling buildings and shattering the Zorgan war machine. In an instant, the tide of the war had turned, and the Council forces, sensing their opportunity, pressed their advantage. The Zorgans, their leadership decimated and their armies in disarray, could no longer mount an effective resistance. They were forced to retreat, abandoning their homeworld and leaving behind the shattered remnants of their once proud empire. The Council, victorious but exhausted, could scarcely believe what had happened. They had won the war, had vanquished their greatest foe, but the cost had been higher than they ever could have imagined. The humans, those brave volunteers who had sacrificed everything for the sake of the galaxy, were gone. They had given their lives so that others might live, had made the ultimate sacrifice for a cause greater than themselves. The Council, humbled by the humans' bravery and shamed by their own doubts, vowed to honor their memory. They would rebuild, would forge a new future for the galaxy, but they would never forget the heroes who had made it all possible. As the dust settled and the galaxy began to heal, the legend of the human sacrifice spread far and wide. They had come from humble beginnings, had been dismissed and underestimated by the great powers of the galaxy, but in the end, they had proven themselves to be the greatest heroes of all. Their story would be told for generations to come, a testament to the power of courage, sacrifice, and the unbreakable spirit of those who fight for what they believe in. And though the humans were gone, their legacy would endure, a shining beacon of hope in a galaxy that had been forever changed by their presence. In the aftermath of the war, the Galactic Council was a changed entity. The sacrifices made by the humans had not only secured victory, but had also fundamentally altered the way the Council viewed itself and its place in the universe. The Council, once a bastion of arrogance and self-importance, had been humbled by the events of the war. They had seen the cost of their hubris, had witnessed the bravery and selflessness of those they had once dismissed as inferior. And yet, even as the Council struggled to come to terms with this new reality, old habits and attitudes began to reassert themselves. In the halls of power, where the great races of the galaxy gathered to shape the future, the humans and their sacrifices were slowly but surely being forgotten. It began with small things, offhand comments and dismissive jokes made by those who had never truly appreciated the humans' contributions. The Valkorians, ever proud of their martial prowess, spoke of how they had won the war through their own strength and cunning. The Eldarians, masters of diplomacy and intrigue, claimed credit for the victory, saying that it was their clever maneuvering that had brought the Zorgans to their knees. And so, as the Council celebrated its triumph and looked to the future, the humans and their sacrifices were slowly pushed to the margins. Their names were mentioned less and less in the official histories, their deeds overshadowed by the self-aggrandizing tales of the other races. But there was one among the Council who had not forgotten, one who had seen firsthand the bravery and determination of the humans. Zara, the last surviving member of the human infiltration team, had been rescued from the ruins of the Zorgan homeworld. Broken in body, but unbroken in spirit. Zara had been hailed as a hero by the Council, had been given a place of honor among the great leaders of the galaxy. But as time passed and the memory of the human sacrifice began to fade, Zara found herself increasingly alone, a living reminder of a truth that the Council seemed determined to forget. For Zara, the dismissive attitude of the Council was a bitter pill to swallow. She had seen her comrades, her friends, give their lives for the sake of the galaxy, and to see their sacrifice so casually dismissed was more than she could bear. And so, Zara began to speak out, to remind the Council of the debt they owed to the humans. She spoke of the bravery of her comrades, of the selflessness and sacrifice that had made victory possible. At first, her words fell on deaf ears. The great races of the galaxy, secure in their own importance, had little time for the concerns of a lone human. But Zara would not be silenced, would not let the memory of her fallen comrades be so easily forgotten. She spoke in the great halls of the Council, her voice ringing out with a power and passion that none could ignore. She challenged the Valkorians and the Eldarians, dared them to deny the truth of the human sacrifice. And slowly but surely, her words began to have an effect. The younger members of the Council, those who had not been so set in their ways, began to listen, to question the official histories and the self-serving tales of their elders. They began to see the humans in a new light, to appreciate the bravery and selflessness that had made victory possible. They began to push for change, to demand that the humans be given their rightful place in the annals of galactic history. At first, the old guard resisted, clinging to their pride and their prejudices. But as the voices of change grew louder, as more and more of the Council began to see the truth of Zara's words, they found themselves increasingly isolated, their authority and their credibility crumbling away. And so, in a momentous session of the Council, Zara took the floor, ready to deliver the final blow. She spoke of the humans' sacrifice, of the debt that the galaxy owed to their bravery and their selflessness. She spoke of the need for unity, for a new era of cooperation and understanding between all the races of the galaxy. She spoke of the future, of a galaxy where the humans and their sacrifices would never be forgotten, where their memory would be honored and cherished for generations to come. And as she spoke, the Council listened, their hearts and minds opened by the power of her words. They saw the truth of what she said, saw the need for change, and for a new beginning. In that moment, the Council was transformed, the old divisions and prejudices swept away by a newfound sense of purpose and unity. The Valkorians and the Eldarians, once so proud and aloof, bowed their heads in humility, acknowledging the debt they owed to the humans. And so, with Zara at their head, the Council set out to forge a new future for the galaxy, a future built on the foundation of the human sacrifice. They would honor the memory of the fallen, would work to create a galaxy where all races could live in peace and harmony. Zara, for her part, was hailed as a hero, a champion of the humans, and a symbol of the new era that was dawning. She had fought for the memory of her comrades, had stood up to the great powers of the galaxy and emerged victorious. But for Zara, the true victory was not in the accolades or the honors bestowed upon her. It was in the knowledge that the human sacrifice had not been in vain, that their memory would live on in the hearts and minds of all who called the galaxy home. As she looked out upon the stars, Zara knew that the humans had left a lasting legacy, a legacy of courage, sacrifice, and the unbreakable spirit of those who fight for what they believe in. And she knew that wherever they were, her comrades were looking down upon her, smiling at the knowledge that their sacrifice had not been forgotten, that their memory would endure for generations to come. In the end, the humans had the last laugh, their legacy secured by the power of their sacrifice and the strength of their convictions. They had shown the galaxy the true meaning of heroism, had proven that even the smallest and most unassuming of races could change the course of history. And as the galaxy looked to the future, it did so with a newfound sense of hope and unity, a sense that anything was possible if only they had the courage to fight for it. The humans had given their lives so that others might live, had sacrificed everything for the sake of the greater good. And in doing so, they had changed the galaxy forever, had set it on a course towards a brighter and more hopeful future. Zara knew that the road ahead would not be easy, that there would be challenges and obstacles to overcome. But she also knew that the humans had shown them the way, had given them the strength and the courage to face whatever lay ahead. And so, as she looked out upon the stars, Zara smiled, knowing that the humans' legacy would endure, that their memory would be cherished and honored for generations to come. They had sacrificed everything so that others might live, and in doing so, they had achieved a kind of immortality, had secured their place in the annals of galactic history. It was a legacy that would never be forgotten, a testament to the power of the human spirit and the unbreakable bonds of friendship and sacrifice. And as the galaxy looked to the future, it did so with a sense of gratitude and awe, knowing that it owed everything to the bravery and selflessness of the humans who had given their lives so that others might live.